I love you. You didn't just win, you kicked his ass.
Miss Judy, John said that Susanna was such a great supply that she demanded they have sex with the belt on that night. So they actually had sex in the Trump Taj Mahal while John was wearing his belt.
Do we need to think about that? I mean, what?
We just saw a guy punch another guy for no reason. I mean, why not think about that?
Okay, well, whatever made his wife happy. I mean, it is kind of sad seeing this now that we know what happened with their marriage and everything, you know, that they seemed pretty happy back then.
Well, I'll say this, that this is probably every guy's fantasy that John got to live. And Mike, to your point about John boxing, this was the worst thing that can ever happen to John Eric Melendez, because for the rest of his life, he has the confidence of this particular event, which you have to give him credit for doing, but he still relies upon it in his mind.
Okay, send Grillo the link. I don't even know him, so yeah.
Mike, what's your opinion on Grillo's new show?
Yeah.
I haven't really watched much of it, but I like Grillo. Grillo was one of the guys that did my roast. He was funny. He was great. Good guy, but I haven't really watched the show.
Is that why your name is Mike Roast in Casey's phone?
Yes. Yep.
Is that how you guys met? I never heard the full story.
Yeah,
so what happened?
That's the whole story. We did a 40th roast, and back in 2016, but we kind of met in 2015, and he brought in these guys, Jackie the Joke Man, Grillo, Bob Levy, and Bob Levy's kid, and we all did a show up at the Holiday Inn. It was great. It was, and of course, Stuttering John. I almost forgot about him. So all those guys, we did a roast. It was like a one night Holiday Inn. It was a great time. It went
a roast
really well.
of you?
A roast of me, but it was more or less just like a comedy gig. You know, it wasn't. Nobody knew me. Those guys didn't know me, so it wasn't. We knew it wouldn't really work that way. So Jackie just came in, told jokes. Then Grillo came in, kind of busted on me, busted on, all the different guys. You know, KC and Bob and Dom was there. Bob's kid, absolutely killed. Was incredible. He was.
Oh.
He was
I didn't
so
know
funny.
His kid did comedy too.
Yeah, well, he doesn't really do comedy. I think he was like 17 at the time. He just came to hang out, and Bob wrote him all kinds of stuff, and he came in. He was just, it was great. It was an awesome time.
Miss Judy, isn't it great to not have kids? You can waste money on all these washed up performers for your 40th birthday party.
Extravagances. Yeah, because I'm assuming each person probably wanted to be paid at least $500 to $1,000 to show
what's
up.
the final?
It's the ballpark. Yeah, it's the ballpark.
So how did it set it up in terms of money?
So me and Case, kind of went over like all the details. Like initially we were just going to get like local guys, and he's like, "Hey, listen, I can get Bob Levy, I can get Jackie, I can get John Melendez," and I was like, "Okay, find out the price." And I just, whatever he said, I just.
How'd you get in contact with Casey then initially?
It was, I think, on Twitter. I think it was on Twitter, just a message to him. This was a long time ago. And I was coming up with like this idea to do like a 40th roast. Corinne went to the Dominican Republic, and did that for a 40th. So I said, what do I want to do for my 40th? So I and he's actually in, doesn't live too far from where I live. So we just hung out, became good friends, very good friends. And that was it. That was started up.
So, Miss Judy, Mike bought his way into this lifestyle, and then
that's the easiest way to do it.
He hired them. Yeah.
What an idiot.
John Eric Melendez had the perfect person to be friends with, Poker Mike, and he screwed it up. And now Mike is legitimate friends with Anthony Cumia. I've witnessed that.
But me and Cumia, great friends. I like Cumia is awesome. Me and John, we well, you know how that kind of started, right? So
playing poker or what?
Well, no, it was how me and John became friends. He messaged me one time. He's like, "Is this roast really happening? Is this going to happen?" Because he didn't know if it was. He hadn't got paid yet, so he wanted to get all the money up front. So this was like 6 months before. So we ended up.
You're only 38.
Yeah. So exactly. So I paid him. I took care of him, and then I think he was
Well,
like
Mike, when you
calling.
do this story,
Yeah.
I need the amounts, like if you
Okay.
the
Yeah.
best you can remember.
I remembered it, Vince. You give me you get a guy, I'll tell you.
All
So
right.
it was 500. I gave him 500, then like a month or two later, he was just so persistent, so I had to give him the balance. So it was total, it was 1,000. So I gave him 1,000, and it was, I could have done anything with it. What a waste! No, I'm just kidding. No, so it was it was really the whole show was so worth it. In fact, I'm sure people who are in the chat or in the Dabbleverse may have been there. It was a good time. It was
How though was your
like
party,
80
right?
people. No, it was I opened it up for at the holiday, and it was I had tickets going, so everyone was buying tickets, but then I just let
Oh.
people buy at the door. So it was a little bit of a mix, but we sold probably like 70, 80 tickets. It
So
was
what
pretty
was
good.
Casey's role in the money then, since he was the initial point
Well,
person?
well, initially Casey was, the contact, but to all those guys, and figuring out what everyone wanted and what everyone was willing to do it for. So initially, I was giving it to him, and then I kind of took over that role. And no knock on him. Casey's, I'm a little bit better with that then. So John, I guess, was probably driving Casey crazy, saying, "Where's my money? Where's my money?" So I'm like, "Oh, I'm like, Casey, let me just take care of him." So we took care of him, and then we kind of just made everybody whole. And then and that was pretty good. Well, you want to
How
know
much
who
did
got?
old man Levy shake you down for?
Levy was the him and Jackie were the highest. I mean, I don't know if they wanted me to tell you, but I'm sure they wouldn't care. I think
They're
Bob.
both gonna die by tomorrow, most likely.
Yeah, I paid Levy 1,500
Oh, that's
and
pretty
Jackie.
good.
Yeah,
10
so
years ago.
they were because they were my top guys. So I
Mhm,
gave it to Bob. I gave Bob 15, and then Jackie was
mhm.
15. He came on
Wow.
and did jokes. He was good though. And then John was
It-
1,000, and I think Grillo was 1,000.
Grillo
Wow.
1,000. He's
Maybe.
never made
No,
1,000 in his life.
no, Grillo was good. Actually, I got to tell you, Grillo was really good. I didn't
I
know
love
he was a
Grillo. I'm just
comic.
saying
He
it's
was awesome. Yeah, he was
Mike, but
really, really
that's
good.
too much money. Miss Judy, for some reason, they see Mike coming. And when I say they, like people that are shysters, because when we were walking past this
hear this.
strip club, the bouncer can smell these guys. And like immediately, Mike is very generous.
Suckers.
So yeah, he gets a table and they're coming over 3 to 4 times an hour to see how Mr. Mike is doing.
Oh,
And
that's
of
not
course, at
true.
the end, it's
That's
like
not true.
$900 for like 2 bottles of bullshit alcohol. But I appreciate it, Mike.
We had fun
Except for
though.
those,
Hey,
yeah, it was a great, except for those
that's my
pesky naked girls in front of the TV.
it's
So
my
that's a
kid's
cool
college
story.
fund. My kid's
Yeah, you
college
know-
fund. You know.
Right, so Mike doesn't have any kids,
Your
but he has a very, very
non-existent
pretty wife,
kids.
Miss Judy.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
so Mike, did you also have to pay for a hotel for these guys?
No. Well, so the Holiday Inn. Jackie doesn't live too far from there. He's on the North Shore. Bob had to I think travel the most. He was in Jersey. Grillo
Took
was
a
in
train
the
from the
city.
city.
He took
Yeah.
a train Grillo took a train from the city. Casey was in Port Jeff. I was in Merrick. And so that's it.
So
I
what was your
think, right?
total bill for this
Oh, so- and-
entertainment?
And Stuttering John was in Massapequa at his mom's house. The total bill was it didn't. What we did was the hotel. We had to pay for the hotel too to rent the Holiday Inn
Yeah.
for the show. So maybe that was 1,000. I think
Oh.
I think between Grillo, KC, 3.
7,000?
It was probably about 7 Gs. Yeah, it
The
was.
whole
Yeah.
hotel costs less than Grillo.
It was nothing. And then we
You
so
had food? Didn't you have to
we-
provide food?
we provided like a kind of a like a side dishes, things like that, appetizers. I think that's all it was. But yeah, everyone went, but we did pretty well. Like I said, we got, I think it was like 20, $30 a ticket, and we covered with the balance of the hotel, and then we took the rest of the money and gave it to my buddy. One of our family members had cancer, so it worked out good. So it was a win-win.
Nah.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
but
But it wasn't.
I'm still,
It didn't touch that 7K.
yeah, but I'm still surprised that you sold tickets to your birthday party comedy show.
Well, we did we promoted it on Facebook. Oh, that's another thing. We promoted it on Facebook. It was like the roast. See all like I had the T-shirt. I'll have to,
Yeah,
I'll have
Friends
to
of
give it to
Howard
you.
Stern.
Yeah, something. Yeah,
Gives a
something.
shit.
It wasn't like so much Stern stuff, but it was the comedy roast of Mike Gillingham. But then it was
Who?
Come see, yeah, who, what guy? I just talked to myself. We'll see all these, to see Bob, see Jackie, see everyone. And Facebook was good because everyone like commented on it. And that's the first time I ever saw the real Stuttering John hate, because I didn't like, I didn't know it. Like I didn't know that whole
Right.
world. So I'd be on Facebook, and they were like, Stuttering John's a piece of shit. It's just killing it. This is gonna be the worst comedy show ever. And I was like an idiot, so I'm like fighting back with these guys, and like, you don't understand. We're gonna donate the money to cancer, you asshole piece of shit. And I'm going back and forth, and they're just like ripping me apart. Well, so I'm like, so anyways, long story short, we did promote it more of as come see like those guys. Those
I would
comedy
love to
guys.
see that
You would have loved it. Vince. You
lineup.
would have
Yeah,
absolutely
any
loved it.
Stern fan would have loved to pay
Yeah.
more than just that.
Well-
so
well,
then
that's-
eventually you become friends with John through that.
So yes, so during that period, John and I became friends. Like he was, what he'd do is he'd message on Instant Messenger on Facebook.
Hey,
And I
what
would
can you
talk to
do
him.
for me?
I didn't realize it at the time, and then he was calling. So he'd call and he'd talk, and we talk on the phone. And not long. I mean, I'm not a talker, so but he would call. Well, I'm a talker, but I'm on the phone. So he would just call up, and we'd end up shooting the shit for a little bit, and then he was like, "Oh, I'm coming in this time." So I'm like, "Oh, well." I went to the Yankees with his. It was crazy. He's only in Massapequa, so he's like a few miles away. So I would just drive down. We'd grab dinner and stuff. And we actually were legit friends. And then that one night, he's like, "Oh, come over, watch the football game." So Thursday night, we're watching Thursday night football, and he goes, "Oh, you want to go to Coolmuse and play poker?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I've loved, I love Ant from like back and when he was on AAF, and I love poker. So those two things kind of worked out good. And then but he really needed a ride. That's why he wanted me to go. He needed a ride to,
And he
what
needed
Ant was
money
living.
too.
Well, we'll get in
That
there.
he needed, yeah. That's the second part. That's the second part. Yeah, he was a little short. He wanted to let me know he was a little short. So anyway, so we were driving there. So we're driving on Meadowbrook, and which is really close to Ant's house. So I'm like, "Oh, I got to get money." So he goes, "Oh, let's just go to his house first. Just go to his house first, and then we'll get it. We'll get it." So mind you, like obviously I can go on Waze or whatever, but I get to his house and I'm meeting everyone. I'm kind of like I'm nervous,
How do you know the address to get there?
Oh, John knew it. John knew it. He's like, he knew where to go.
So Anthony invited John to play.
Anthony invited John. He said, I'm bringing a friend, and so that's when we ended up going up there. But when we got there, John was like, "Oh, that's another." So we're all like kind of hanging out. I'm like, "Okay, John, I'm gonna go head out to the ATM. And want to come with me? We'll get some money. I'll cover
Want
it.
to come with me to the ATM? So
I got no problem
get
covering
money.
him as long as I'm playing. I'll be fine. I'll cover him." But the
Right.
guy's like, "This is exactly what he said." He goes, "No, I'm good. You go." And I'm like, "Well, don't you want to come with me so we can go?" And he's like, "No, you go." And he was just drinking his beer. But he said it so condescendingly, I remember. And we were like, "This guy's a douche." But I'm playing poker, and I'm gonna hang out hang out with these guys that
right.
I could connect with. And all those guys ended up becoming my friends. Fred from Brooklyn, Dennis, Mikey Cuffs. You met Mikey. So all those guys became my real good friends. We hung out, we'd go to parties, we went to AC all the time. So when I got back, we started playing, and I talked to Fred from Brooklyn, like not too long ago, like actually it was a while back, but we were talking about how we all got introduced. Pat Dixon played, all those guys. Joe Coolby and me and Joe are really good friends. And Fred was saying, he's like, "Dude, when you left," he's like, "I didn't want any part of John," but he's like, "Oh, we should get his friend to come back." And then a few months later, they called me back, and we started hanging out. And Dennis would call me, and he'd be like, "Hey, listen, come play poker, come to a party." So I was doing that. We were all hanging out, and became really, really good friends. So fast forward a few months, John comes back to New York because he wants to do Artie and Anthony. So I'm like, "Oh, I'd love to meet Artie." I'm definitely like kind of jumping along here. So I'm like, "Oh, I'll take you." I'm like, "I want to go. I want to meet Artie. I haven't met Artie yet." So I end up picking up John, taking him to the city. Oh, another thing too, I get there and he goes, I'm like, "Oh, well, let's go park, and then then we'll walk to the city." He said, "No, just drop me off. You go park." I'm like, I hate this guy. I fucking hate this guy. But here's the thing though. Kumi and I and all those guys that played at the compound were friends for the last year. So John doesn't know what he's talking about. He thinks the first time that we went was that breakup. So
you were stabbing him in the back a lot sooner than he knew.
Exactly. I stabbed a long time ago.
Jeez.
So
right.
so yeah. So that was
We get it. We
yeah.
get the gist of it, you know.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
Miss Judy, you want to read some of these chats before we
Yeah,
get out of
thank
read
you
the
here?
chats.
guys
I'll go
for
off.
still being.
No,
Yeah, a lot of
you're
people
good.
dropped off already. So, okay,
Everyone
Vince,
did.
please find out if Stuttering John really has a roommate. Can you do
Yeah.
that?
Find that out.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I could find out.
Yeah, someone said that you could try to find his postal service. What do you call it? Those notifications. I don't think it's that easy to
I
do
don't want to go
though.
that far. You can just
Yeah.
ask him.
Work
Mike,
for
what
me.
do you think of Kaylee Landsberg sort of lying so much to everyone that it wasn't that loony guy that was harassing her, in her opinion?
What
I
makes
only,
you think she's lying?
I only saw that one thing that when she was a double point she was on, and they asked the question, but I think she just kind of didn't say anything. She said someone said
It
something about
wasn't
the
her.
dick pics or something like that, and she goes, I have no idea or something like that. But that's all I know. I don't know any details about
Well, yeah,
her
we know, Miss
lying.
Judy, that it is her, which is funny to see someone that you know is going to lie.
Well, how do you know it was her?
I mean, somebody told me. Someone that was there
Someone
told
you
me.
trust?
Yes,
told
they
you?
were there. They're
Oh.
in there. So the
She's
funny
pretty
thing is,
open.
Mike,
I think
I've
she'd
seen her.
tell you.
I'm not. I have nothing against Kaylee Landsberg. I don't care. But I'm just saying, knowing that I know that it is her, and there was no other girls there that were single that Looney would ask out. But what I'm really concerned about is that trucker Randy guy who is just so negative towards this guy Looney taking a shot to become something
Welcome.
with Kaylee. And they're like, if you, who is that?
It's Case.
Casey joined us again. Thank you.
I came outside.
Very
Yeah,
good.
good.
Yeah,